stuff going on.
Okay, so I have the recording on, and Wardell, I'm ready whenever you are. You ready, Mr. O? Okay, go ahead.
You are listening to the new WCEG network, WCEGTalkRadio.com. Click live stream or watch us live on Smart TV YouTube under WCEG network. Now we've been having a little issues on there, but if you go there and you can get us, then please log on and see on WCEG network. I am Wardell Richardson, your host for the next hour on WCEGWOOD, the Hollywood of the South, where we interview the hottest in the entertainment in the world of film, TV, and theater. Follow us on Facebook or on Twitter at WCEG_talk_radio. That's WCEG_talk_radio. And at WCEG Network. That's at WCEG Network. Amanda just disappeared. Do you see her on there?
I still see her on my screen.
Okay. We're your worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community. Once again, I'm Wardell Richardson, your show host for the next hour on WCEGWOOD, Hollywood of the South. Last but not least, the topics and opinions are those of the show host and not those of WCEG Network. Hello, everybody. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm Wardell Richardson. Before I introduce to you my fabulous guests, I just have to say, like I say every week, this coronavirus has got people in a whole world of issues and problems. We at WCEG Network and WCEG, the Hollywood of the South, send our condolences to those who've lost family members, friends. It's just been a horrific time. At this moment, people have lost jobs. I've seen many people on the side of the road with their families and stuff. And if you happen to see that, please give them some help, buy them a room for the night. Whatever you can do, if you can spare it, do it. That's what we're here for. We're supposed to help each other. And I think these are the times where we need to start helping each other. God make things happen for a reason. And I don't think this is happening for no reason. There is a reason why we're here where we are right now. So if you have a heart that you want to extend to someone and bless someone, please do that when you can. Once again, our condolences go out to anyone who's lost someone, family members, children. I just start hearing that some children are passing away. So this is a really horrific time. And our prayers go out to you. Now, if you are at home and you have nothing to do, you're just sitting around trying to figure out what you can watch on TV, guess what? I have 5 shows on Amazon Prime that you can go to and have a great time watching. It's every genre that you can think of, I have on there. From sci-fi to horror to drama to action. Check me out on, you can check out the movie GPS, Addiction by Subtraction, Greed, Flesh, and the 30-Day Rule on Amazon Prime. We put a lot into this when it comes to the film industry. So if you can take the time to go out and support me, hey, please do so. And send me a message. Email me, send me a message to my inbox. Let me know what you think of some of the stuff that I do. I take all opinions and understand they're just opinions. You're not telling me what to do. You know what I'm saying? But I will listen to all opinions or, however you feel. If you like the film, if you don't like the film. I've had people call me and say, I ain't really like that one too much. Okay, cool, I appreciate that. Because this is what it's all about. Some people love it, some people don't. It's whatever's in your flavor. So I have something for all flavors. So make sure you go and check me out. I have romantic comedy, like I said, action, sci-fi, horror, it's all in there. On Amazon Prime or at TubiTV.com. Go on Tubi. Tubi is a free app. Go on there, watch whatever you want. 4 of the 5 movies are on there. The only one that's not on there is GPS, which is the horror film. So please go and check me out. Also, if you want to call in to the show, Call in at 646-876-9923. That's 646-876-9923. Call us. We love to hear from you. And I definitely can't wait to introduce the lovely, the talented Amanda Rosario. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
I am wonderful, man. This is how first, before we get into anything, how's everything going with you with the COVID-19 going on? Your family, everybody's okay?
We're doing fine. What I find so interesting is when they talk about the breakouts and stuff, we close to the end of last year, we kept getting like a lot of colds and flu season, like flu types symptoms. And then by the time February 1st came, that's when my whole family felt better. So when we got back from Thanksgiving all the way up to February, we were feeling like down and sick and snotty, and the kids all had fevers. We even took the baby to the hospital, and they didn't even know what was going on. My husband was like, there were a whole bunch of kids in there that had the exact same symptoms, and they couldn't figure it out. They was just like, well, we just think it's the flu, and here's some medicine, go home. So it might have already been here and gone in this household, so I don't know. But
yeah, you know what's funny?
We felt so much better. We were like, oh, I can breathe. I'm not stuffy anymore.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people. I have some friends that told me, they say, you know what? I think I had it, but they didn't know what it was at the time. But now they're diagnosing people with it that really don't even have it. You know, if you come in with the slightest symptoms that even come close to what the symptoms are with COVID-19, they're going to say you got COVID-19 and try to quarantine you. So please, guys, make sure you be aware of that. Some doctors are saying that people have COVID-19 when they don't have COVID-19. It's just freaking everybody out, and people don't know what to do. I've been hearing a lot of stories from nurses all over the country talking about how they're treating people in the hospitals. It's just a sad, sad situation, and we all have to look out for each other. So please, take the time. Make sure if you haven't gotten tested, go get tested, because some people don't have the symptoms. They have it and don't show symptoms of it. Idris Elba's a perfect example. He was around somebody who he saw who was tested positive. So he just decided to go get tested, and he was positive. But didn't have any other symptoms, and he just did it just because.
Wow.
So, be aware also that there are people out there who are testing and are not qualified to test.
Oh, God.
So there are always scammers. I promise you, at the worst times, scammers will make their money. There have been people that have been setting up shop, testing people, charging them $150 to get tested, and they are not even a legit testing site. So please be aware that there are scammers out there that are taking people's money. I have seen it. I have read about it. It's been all in the news. So please, people, be aware of what's going on. Check with your doctors. Look online to see where are the closest locations in legit places. Be aware of the trucks that are just sitting out on the road saying that they're doing testing. All of them are not legit. So please be aware of that. Now, as the show is progressing, I want to get Amanda, who is a dear friend of mine. She's very talented. Glad to have her on the show. Amanda, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from? How you got where you are today in this industry?
Oh, well, I'll try to keep it brief. So I'm originally from South Carolina. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia to attend college. And after I graduated, I basically gave the degree to my mother because I only went to college for her. Like that was just something that their family did. Everyone goes to college. You may not finish, but everybody goes to college.
Wow.
Yeah. But,
so they made sure that happened in your family.
Oh yeah, they did. But I graduated and I went into corporate America. It was not for me. And so, after a couple of years, I'm not going to call no corporate names, but after a couple of years in corporate America, I was like, I can't do this no more. I need to find something that makes me feel like I'm flying. So
Gotcha.
I kind of went back into modeling because I started modeling as a child through my mom and, pageants back home and all of that stuff. And then I kind of chose modeling for myself for the first time.
Okay.
So well, let me back up a little bit. While I was in college, I was pursuing modeling a little bit too. So
Okay.
I just stopped. I just went full force after I kind of left corporate America. And I had told my husband, because I had got married kind of young, just a smidge young. Like, my dream is I want to be on magazines and in commercials. And he was like, okay. And so he was at a grocery store one day and he was looking around at all the magazines and he was like, because he's gone on casting calls with me and everything.
Right. So he's seen the grind. He's seen what happens.
He's seen the models.
Right.
And he was like, I don't see these models on the magazines. Like, unless it's high fashion and it's Vogue, you don't see the models on the magazines. For the average American, the person that you're going to see on the cover is an actor, athlete, or an actress. So they don't see the high fashion models or anything like that, or any model really, unless it's a magazine that's totally for like, oh, we have, video vixen models, or we have sports illustrators, stuff like that. You're not going to really see a model on the cover.
Right.
And he was like, I see actresses. I see, Jennifer Lopez or Jennifer Aniston or,
Right. Yeah.
in general. And I was like, He was like, maybe you should get back into acting. And I was like, I don't know about that. Because as a little kid, I did theater acting as well.
Right.
And I would be perfect. Like rehearsals and stuff, I was on point. But on performance night, if I looked out in the crowd, blank. I would just go, all the lines gone. I'm like,
yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that again. He was like, well, do film. I was like, film. Yeah, I think I can do that.
Look, how important was that for you? Because, a lot of times you have people that their significant other, boyfriend, whoever get involved with the careers and stuff, and they get all insecure, things like that. How important was it for you that he supported you the way that he did?
Oh man, his support has been everything. I don't think I would be where I am mentally and emotionally stable if he wasn't there with me. And it's the behind the scenes stuff. It's not when I'm on camera or when I'm on set. It's when all of that is done and you come home. Because acting to me is like being like Superman or Superwoman. You get to put on your best and just give everything. And then when you come down from that, the adrenaline is gone, the high is gone, and you're like, I'm just regular me now. And he made it okay. Like, it's okay. You don't have to always be on. And that type of support is what's necessary and needed for anybody that's in industry. You have to have somebody that lets you know when you're not on, that is okay to just be your normal, average self. And I really would not be where I am today without him. He's wise beyond his years.
That's awesome because, like I said, I hear so many times that people fall off and stuff because of the bumping of heads or the insecurities and stuff. It's hard in this industry to have somebody that can support you. Because you be around a whole bunch of men as a model. You in the room changing clothes with men there, women. Yeah. I used to model. I modeled for several years, and we be in the room. Everybody just walk around.
You walk around, and there's nothing there because it's like you've seen those before.
Right.
It's like so it's just a pair of boobs. It's just some guy's butt. It doesn't mean
right. Yeah. So that's the nature of the business, though, and you have to be mentally there to be able to do this. So when people talk about modeling, real modeling, I have to say that.
It has changed. Things have changed over the years. When I was modeling, when I was younger and closer to like my early, almost mid-20s, because that's kind of like when, there's an expiration date in modeling. except for like Naomi Campbell, which
Right.
that'll never go away. She's just timeless. So
Right.
forget about it. But for the rest of us, there is a time limit. And it used to be more artful back then. It used to be either you were modeling for an artiste or someone that was putting a piece together, or you were modeling for high fashion. And it's changed.
Yes.
I have a bust out somewhere in the world where an artist literally, did a casing of my torso. And carved my torso into a piece of wood. And I don't know how much it got auctioned off for, but I got my little check for doing my modeling thing, and there's a bust somewhere out in the world.
So somebody in this world have a bust of you sitting in their house.
Right.
Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah, somewhere.
That is crazy.
If I find it, I might buy it back, just depending on how much that's
Hey, that thing might cost more than what it took for you to do it.
Yeah, I bet, because art appreciates. So
right, that's what I'm saying. It might cost more than what for you to do it. So that piece of wood may be, some just that thing can cost some money right about now. And then you be like, but this is me. It's me.
I know. I just want my body back. I get my body back.
I want my bottom half back now.
Oh man.
So you did the modeling, and how did the transition from modeling to acting progress?
So it kind of seamlessly went in, because when you're modeling, like if you're connected or you made some really interesting connections and you've networked and all of that, you'll have people that'll call you in and say, hey, Amanda, I've got this thing going on. Do you mind just showing up? And that's kind of like what happened to me. So I went to a music video shoot, and from there, somebody was like, hey, I'm doing a short film. Do you mind coming and being like one of the extras? And then after that, there was another, opportunity to be an extra. And then there was another opportunity to be in a short film or whatever. And so it just kind of, snowballed from that point. But by the time my husband looked at the magazines, I had done a couple of little extra things, and I was just kind of really frustrated with the extra stuff. So I was like, I'll find a corporate job again. That's no biggie. And he was like, no. It was, while I'm working, do your thing. And so that's when I was like, okay, I need to really hunker down and see if I can start going for bigger roles. And that's kind of like, the journey for the last 5 years is just going head first, feet first, body first, until getting those bigger roles.
Yeah, and this is a tough industry. Like, once you get in, and we're not even in LA. LA is a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole another beast. I meet, it's so interesting because I meet LA actresses and New York actresses, and they come to Atlanta because this is their way to break in. They've got all the training in the world.
Right.
For some reason, they can't break their toes into LA. And it's hard for them. And I'm like, it's hard here too, especially when you guys come here. So,
well, in LA.
But you build a camaraderie and you realize that you're all sisters and brothers in this at the same time. And it's better to network, as Issa Rae was saying, network with the people that are right next to you. Because it took her building her own thing for Hollywood to go, ooh, come here, Issa, come here. And for example, is why I'm doing some other stuff that's not Hollywood type stuff.
Right.
Like the show that you was like, Amanda, this is funny.
And we're gonna talk about that show too. But you're right. I always say, and this is the one thing I learned about Atlanta versus Hollywood. In Hollywood, everyone's an actor and work part-time. But here in Georgia, everyone works full-time and act part-time. Right. So the chances of you competing against a big movie star in Atlanta is less than if you were in Hollywood trying to compete. Because everyone, they when they have audition, the line is out the door, going around the corner, and that's not even including the star actors who are trying to audition for the same role. So it's a whole different beast, whole different ball game. Down here in Atlanta, I can go do an audition, be in and out in a few minutes, depending on who you're auditioning for.
Yep.
And you probably won't even have to audition. If you come in and they love you, boom, you got the role. Hey, we love you. We want you. This, that, and the other, and you go your way. So, so I get why people would come to Atlanta to try to do it. But see, Tyler Perry is also bringing a lot of people here to Georgia, because he has just, this man has done the impossible, you know, and it's a beautiful thing to see a Black man do that, and build what he has built, the reputation and everything that he has built. It's just incredible, you know, and it's opened the doors for so many people here in Georgia, because, you know, people in LA, when they come here to film, they bring people from LA here to film with them. Yeah. Well, we have great people here in Atlanta.
That's right. We have awesome, you know, any person that you can think of, from, you know, the electrician, crew members, sound technicians. We have it all already here. So, you know, I know the great initiative was, hey, you know, get LA to come here, but also LA needs to understand is we got you right here. When you come here, you don't have to bring everybody with you. We got we are connected, so you don't have to feel, you know, I guess, you know, oh, these are the people I know. Yeah, bring your top folks, but you know, staff it out with the rest with Atlanta. That's all we ask for.
Yeah,
you know,
great people.
you're getting the tax credit.
So how hard is it as a female? Because, you know, a lot of females say it's harder for them in the industry than it is for men. And how do you feel about that ratio? How do you feel as a woman trying to break into the industry? Is it difficult for you, or, you know, has it been pretty a smooth process? How has it been for you?
It's definitely not easy. And I preference this, I don't think it's, you know, easy for everyone that's not running their own show. If you are putting together your own show and you call in the shots, it's going to be hard to be the big guy, but you at least have control over, you know, the production itself, and you can kind of put people in place. But when you're coming in as a supporting part to a production, it's much harder. And the last people that are ever brought on a set are the actors. So imagine how much more competition there is for people that are picked last. Picked last. You know, everybody else is filled out, and then actors come into a family that's basically already knows each other. So, and as a, you know, because I identify Black. So, but a lot of people will be like, oh, you mixed because you got this, you got that. The world sees me as Black, okay? Understand that. There's no octoroons, there's no quadroons, no more. You either white or you Black. That's it. Okay? So.
Do you get that? Like, what I'm gonna say, do they say that you're mixed with like you have some Latina in you, or?
So you know, the question comes from my Black family members is, so you ain't quite all the way Black. What else is in you? I don't get that from white people. They go, oh, you're Black, but you okay, your hair's not as okay, fine. But Black people, I know what part though. What I need to know what little piece is not Black. Like tell me the mixture. I need to know how much oil and vinegar and and water's in this mixture. Like tell me what it is. But that's the only difference I see, you know, in that arena. But as far and there's that little colorism that comes in on there too. So it's a battle, I think, when it comes to the actress portion. When we're not creating our own stories, like Viola Davis says, roles are not being made for us. Roles are not truly for the most part. When a writer sits down, especially if he's a white male writer, he's writing from a white male role perspective, even if he's writing the role for a white woman. He doesn't think at all about the nuances that come with Black life.
Right.
So unless we as a community are writing our own stories, it's always going to be far more difficult for us to actually get in the room, stay in the room, and be a viable voice. We
Right.
have to, if we want Hollywood to stand up and pay attention, we have to do exactly what we did in the past, which is create our own stories, do our own thing, and then Hollywood will go, hey, excuse us, Black people, we see you making a lot of money off these Black films. Can we do Black exploitation on you guys? I mean, they'll still be your stories,
Right.
but we'll come in and do all this other stuff for you.
Now, do you feel like lately, during this era, lately, that more Black people are getting more opportunities? Because like now, leading Black women are on the rise. And I think when Black Panther came out and they saw what that can do, I think the whole Black culture as a general, has been able to succeed in a lot of different film projects now, because now, and I hate to say it like this, but it's like white America has to see that Black America can do it before.
Yes,
to
your point, yes, I totally agree with that. That statement is white America has to see that we can do it. But I think for us, we also need those examples where we do it ourselves.
Exactly.
I think what has happened in this great experimentation that we've been dealing with the integration of races is that we've for some parts of Black culture, it has taken away a sense of can-do-ness. Because back then, you couldn't tell a Black person they couldn't do something. There were a lot of, and I like history, so I read a lot of nonfiction history books. But there was so many Black people breaking the barriers because they just didn't care what white America thought. They were like, I don't care. You can call me the N-word all you want to. I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Right.
So we have to get back to that. I think, as a culture, as a whole, just be like, I don't care what you think, I'm still going to do it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times we're in our own way.
Yeah, that happens sometimes too. We put up our own barriers sometimes because we're maybe operating in fear, or we think too much about what other people think of us, and that is a great hindrance. And I've dealt with that myself. A lot of the stuff that I do now is because I'm like, okay, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm still going to do it. I'm going to work this idea and see what happens.
Right. Now, because since you've been an actress, you've progressed and decided, you know what? I'm going to write some stuff. And you become a writer. So what was the progression in that? How did you transcend into going into being a writer from being an actress?
Well, I credit my husband again because he was like, why don't you just write something for yourself? And I was like, I'm not a writer. He was like, I see you writing in your journal almost daily. Like, you're a writer. Like, and then I had to start thinking about, like, do I write that much? And then I thought about the poems that I created when I was in elementary school or, in college. And I was like, dang, I think I do write a lot, but I just didn't know the style or platform in which to write. So that caused me to have to now learn a new skill. Because when you go after your purpose and your dream and your destiny, it's going to cause you to stretch yourself so that you can fit around that purpose that you already were given when you were born. Okay, so don't limit yourself and think, oh, I can't do that or I can't do that. No, your purpose, what it is that drives you, is going to stretch you so you can have more talents. Okay, so even though I didn't know how to screenwrite at that time, I was already a writer. I always wrote down my feelings or journaling my day or whatever the case may be. I just needed to now learn a new skill called screenwriting. So I took a course online and I bought a couple of books and I read them. And then I started experimenting with how to write a treatment. Then I experimented on now turning a treatment into a short film, which we're going to talk about. And then I got a couple of people to read it and come on board with this crazy idea. But experience is the best teacher. And the best way you learn is if you try something, and even if you fail, then get back up and try again until you perfect your own formula that works for you.
Right. And I think that's the way it should work. And that's the way it's supposed to go. When you're really into something and it's something that where you're supposed to be, your talents and stuff are going to be stretched to the point to where that one thing is not going to be enough. You're going to want to do more. When I got into this, I was an actor. I got into theater. I was like, okay, I want to do TV. So I got into TV. I'm like, okay, I want to produce. So I started producing. Then I started directing. And now I'm writing. And writing is something I never thought in a million years that I could do. And I started writing, and one of my friends was like, you wrote this? I said, yeah. You got to do something with it. This is amazing. And that person is a very critical person to anything. So for them to say something like that, I'm like, okay, maybe there's something to this. So now I'm loving it. I'm loving the ability to sit down and create something that I just thought about, because a lot of us think that we can't do something until we try.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we always make excuses. I don't have the time. The kids. I got the kids. I got this. I got that. But if you really love something, you'll make time to do those
That's
things.
right. That's what the old folks say. If you really love it, you'll make the time for it.
So now you're an actress. You're a writer, and you also produce as well. Correct?
Yes, I produced my very first short film last summer. We're still in post-production, but we're almost done wrapping on all of the editing. So,
and what was the name of that project?
It's called Unordinary Love. I'm actually working with my marketing team to get the website up. We've got a IG page for it, so it's Unordinary Love Movie on IG. And so we've got a lot of behind the scenes that we're going to put on that page. But I'm really proud of it. I actually co-wrote this and co-directed with Curtis Brown. He's a writer and a producer here in Atlanta. And we just, over the summer, knocked it out and was like, okay, now what's the next step? Okay, we need to find a director. I called a couple of directors I knew. They were like, I would love to do this, but I'm going to change the script. And I was like, script? And they was like, make you a little too attached to the words. And then like I said, one of the directors, she was like, why don't you direct yourself? I was like, She was like, because you have a clear picture of what you want this to look like.
Right.
Think about directing it? I was like, no, but I came to you because I like the style. She was like, Amanda, you might want to direct it. And I was like, I was like, I never thought about doing that, but again, stretch.
Yeah.
So I co-directed, co-wrote it with Curtis, and can't wait to see because I've seen all the dailies, I've seen what we shot, and but I just want to see how the editor puts everything together. So. Wow.
And so through all of this, and I got to talk about this, you created a show. And first of all, before you start talking about the show, I just got to tell everybody, if you have not seen, it's Nicely But Feisty.
Nice But Feisty show.
Nice But Feisty.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it, definitely go to her page and watch it. Go to her.
And just type Nice But Feisty and it should pop up all the episodes that we did.
Nice But Feisty. Go, I'm telling you. I'm not even going to get into it. I want you to tell, first of all, I want you to let people know how you came up with the idea to do that, and then explain to us exactly what you're doing in it.
Okay. I had a conversation with my sister, and you can kind of say that these characters that I created in Nice But Feisty are the ids of an individual. You have your nice angel person, and then you have your the devil who come out every now and again. And so we were on the phone, and I was ranting and raving to her about the news because that's just something I do.
Right.
I'm really passionate about this. maybe you should, I don't know, do something with that. And I was like, okay. And it just popped on me one day because my character, one of the things that I did in one of my acting classes was that we had to map out, how would you describe your personality? And it came up nice but feisty. I had this years ago before I even started the show. So I was like, who am I? And then this, it's like, came to me and it said, you're nice but feisty. And I was like, I was like, yeah, I can be nice, but if somebody crossed me, feisty will come out.
Right.
So that's how the show started. And I just did what I would normally do with my sister. I would analyze it, be logical, and then I would let the emotions fly. And that's pretty much what nice but feisty is. And I go over the topics of the day or whatever is, in the news cycle of that week, and I break it down into those two personalities, which I think every woman has. You have your nice, but you also have your feisty. And sometimes.
Right. So you're one person who played two people.
Hey, don't tell nobody they twins. When I first started this show, people actually thought I had a twin.
Really?
They really did, yeah. When I first started.
That goes to show how talented you are, because you do play two entirely different people with different attitudes and different personas. It is insane. When I first saw it, I said, what in the world? And it's so natural the way you do it. You have this nice girl, she's just like, and she does so sweet, and then the other one's like, like, got the attitude and stuff. I'm like, what in the world? And I'm so entertained because of how you put it all together. First of all, anybody who can pull something off like that is extremely talented, hands down, because that is not an easy feat to do. It is not, by far. You have to stay in this character and stay in this character, and it has to make sense. Or people are gonna be like, "Oh man, what is this?"
Right, exactly.
But not only are you acting and doing this thing the way you're doing it, you're giving solid, true news to people about what's going on in the world. And I'm like, man, and you made it so entertaining to do it. Like, so how involved with you? Because you just mentioned, you very involved when you was talking to, was it your sister who you was talking to or something?
Yes.
And you were saying how she said you're really passionate about this. So are you a connoisseur of news, like you're always watching and seeing what's going on?
Yes, I watch a lot of news, and I also read a lot as well, as far as, news articles and things of that nature, because I want to be proficient. I also want to be factual about what I'm presenting to people. I don't want to bring you some fake stuff. That's not what the platform is about. It's actually bringing the news in an entertaining way. So I want to make sure that the news that I'm delivering is factual, first and foremost. If it's something that's fake, if it's an article that somebody made up, I'm not presenting that. No. It has to be verified information. I'm not going to do that to people.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job, because some of the stuff I be on there like, what, that happened for real? Because you bring the news and it be factual and everything. So congratulations on that. Now with that show, what kind of, because I think it's fascinating. I think it's a wonderful show. What kind of feedback you been getting from the show? Because it's totally different from what you see on regular TV. Like, and I'm assuming that at some point it's going to hit a plateau that it's just going to take off like a sky. It's just a matter of time.
Your words to God's ears. Thank you very much. I hope so. That regardless of where it's going to go, that's something that I enjoy doing. I'm going to continue to do. If it gets picked up and I actually, end up doing the show for another entity other than myself, and it's a nationwide or network sponsored situation, that's cool. I'm good with that. But I wouldn't. My whole point is to bring the news to whoever wants to listen in a factual but fun way. That's it.
Right. And so another thing that people need to know, a lot of people, you have a family, kids. How much time goes into doing it? Because, like I said, what you're doing takes time. I know this because I've been in this business for several years. It takes time to put that together. How much time and how do you even have the time? Because you're a busy woman. How do you even have the time to do it?
Well, before Corona, it would be, sometimes it would take 2 or maybe even 3 days to make sure I have it all down. But since Corona, I've been able to condense it a little bit more because my husband has to work from home. Thank you. But the gathering of information, that takes the most time. So it's literally almost nonstop watching the news. Because my cycle is basically Monday to Monday. So, because everything has to be done, edited by Tuesday so I can get it, put on the platform and all that stuff. But
you edit yourself, right?
Yes, I do edit it myself. So I know it's really interesting how the brain works because I'm able to kind of turn on my right and left brain and know when the creative side, like, okay, you need to dial that back because that's too much editing for that. And then I kind of go over the rants a couple of times. And then in the editing process, I know what needs to go in there and what doesn't because of the content that I'm bringing. Because again, I want to make sure it's factual and fun, factual and fun. But it takes, so just filming and editing about 2 days. But the information gathering is all week. And that's why I'm taking a break this next week because it can drive you insane watching all this. And here's the funny thing, even when I'm off, like on a break, I don't really stop watching news. I just take a break from having to deliver it. So
right.
I
think at times we need breaks. We need breaks. We need to let our minds rest. Even in acting, no matter what you do, you have to take time to pull away from all of that and just go somewhere and just clear your mind and then come back and start fresh.
Yeah, exactly. But when Corona ends and my life gets back on track, I'll probably be up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. getting myself ready to film. That's as early as I've ever got was 3 a.m. so I can make sure I got the information out. So
wow. Well, congratulations on that show. I think it's an awesome show. You're doing an awesome job with it. It's a perfect show. And we've talked about some things, and I'm sure you're gonna elevate with that show to a whole nother plateau. I look for that show to be on TV somewhere on some major platform real soon because you're coming with great information. You made it very entertaining by what you're doing with it. It's totally something different than what I see. So I see it going to a whole nother level. It's you all day. Congratulations on it and much blessings with that show because it's going to be awesome. Now, I got some fun questions for you.
Okay, cool.
All right? Now, if you could act beside any mainstream actor and actress, who would that be?
Of course, Denzel and Viola. Like
you said that quick. Okay, and why?
Because I think they are true connoisseurs of the art. Excuse me, and I've always looked up to them, and Viola Davis is from South Carolina too, so and I've heard it from everybody that's ever worked with her. She's a beast. She knows exactly when to come in, and I'm just like, she lets it all there, and I want to be a part of that greatness that she puts out. And
Viola is incredibly talented. Like that woman came on the scene and just killed it. And when she hit hard because she has not stopped acting at all. Like, she is on a roll.
Yeah.
She's incredible. And Denzel, of course.
I mean, is there anything else other than just the name Denzel? Like that, I mean, I just I've enjoyed his work over the years. I've even gone back and watched some of his older movies. Like, there's a movie called Carbon Copy or something like that he did, where he played the son of a white guy, and I was just like, that's interesting. But I mean, I'm a fan of his work, so to work alongside him, that would be totally awesome.
See, I am a fan of Will Smith. I like Denzel Washington too.
But you said just pick one. I mean,
I know.
I can list Will and Jada. I would love for them to play my cousins. You know what I'm saying? Especially Jada, she could play my sister or something like that. Yeah.
I love Will Smith because
and Samuel L. Jackson, I really like to work with him. That dude is so
he is the most underrated actor I know. This man has been in so many movies, it is unreal, and has killed all of them. But for whatever reason, he doesn't get the attention and awards that he deserved to get for some of the movies he's done.
Samuel L. Jackson, I got to watch his masterclass. There's an app out there but it's called Masterclass, and I sat through his entire masterclass, and I was like it validated me as an actress, because I have what's called stress-induced dyslexia. So like performing in front of large crowds where I can see them, it's not my forte because the stress will come on, and then like everything I'm reading just goes like that.
That's why you said that about theater. Right.
Because what I have to do if I'm going to speak in public is I have to memorize the script or whatever it is, so that when the stress comes on, I can breathe and just rely on the words that I've memorized. So that's just a little trick for anyone.
Girl, you gotta figure it out, because when that nice was feisty come out, you gonna be in some crowd, girl.
No, but and it's so funny to find out that he has a stutter. And I would have never known that had I not watched the masterclass. But he realizes when he's going to have a certain day where certain words are going to be difficult for him. Like, he'll be like, I can tell when there's going to be a D day, and I was like, oh man. And I'm just watching him like, so I did pick right. To me, I'm like, I did pick right, because I can like truly channel and really kind of be myself and form these characters and go into this world that's just totally imaginary. And I felt like when I watched his master class, I was like, I picked right. It's okay to be a little bit off. I saw when he said that, and I was just like, thank you, Samuel, for sharing that part of your story, because it's kind of like, ever since I saw that masterclass, I've like fessed up to this whole situation, because I was afraid to tell people what were some of the challenges that I have to face in dealing with certain things. And seeing that from him, I was just like, I can tell people I have stress-induced dyslexia, and it'll be fine. Like, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to be a little, challenging. It's a challenge, and I can deal with it.
And you know what? When it comes to acting, that's what people don't understand, how this is not just something that some people have it now. They just have that gift. It's far and in between, but they have that gift. But in most cases, you learn, first of all, when you become an actor, you learn so much about yourself, because you have to literally open yourself to what happens. Now, I have limits of things that I won't play or portray in a film. Do you have those limits?
For me, my limitations don't really come from what I really won't play. It's more about honoring the people that I know that can play the best.
Right.
Example. I would not be a convincing, I don't know. Say for instance, if there is a role that calls for someone that has cerebral palsy, I'm not going to try to play that role when there is an actress out there that has cerebral palsy, because she needs to work. A lot of those parts don't come around very often, and she should play that role. So it's not that I couldn't play it. It's the fact that somebody else that has that challenge, that really knows how to really bring that character out, should have that role. That's how
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But if they want Amanda Rosario, they don't care about nobody else. They want Amanda Rosario.
That's true. That's true.
And they gonna pay you whatever you want to get paid for that role. You gonna have to take that role. I'm sorry. You gonna have to take that role, man. So, because hey, there's a person who can play just about any role that they give us. Yeah. But you know, I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's just right along with my thinking. I know, you know, managers and agents, they get in there. My husband my husband be like, how much? I'll talk to her. Because he's done that before. I will talk to her. Right. After seeing the contract.
Before I said I couldn't do a role that required nudity, total nudity.
Oh, right.
But I have played a role that had that going on, so I can't say that no more. And that's gonna be out sometime this summer. but
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. But you know, hey, they let me see some of the footage, and I'm like, okay,
tasteful.
It wasn't. It's very tasteful, and that's the thing that I just needed to make sure, you know. Because it was a reason for it. Like it wasn't just nudity just because.
Right, just cause. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that to actresses a lot. They do that to actresses a lot. It's a lot of nudity is required for how much? Are you kidding me? No.
Right.
Do you not know that Halle got anyway? Moving on. But not for that.
The one role I cannot play is a gay role. I don't have nothing against the gay people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I cannot play a gay role. I just don't want to do that. And
well, I think to that point, I think the industry, if they really open up their minds and understand that a person who is gay or lesbian, those roles should be given to them as first right of refusal. I think that would mitigate a lot of
you know what? I feel that way too.
Yeah, because it's almost like they act like gay actors don't need jobs too.
Right.
Like, yeah, you should want a gay person to actually pay a gay person.
Right.
I don't understand what that is. If you're looking for a gay male to play a gay male, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. The same thing, if the role calls for a lesbian, then you should be looking for a lesbian woman. Like, it just makes sense to me. And if no gay person wants to play the role, then if you want, then you should offer it to straight actors. But it should be first right refusal for a lot of things, including, you know, roles that are, you know, and I'm not hating on anyone, but if it calls for a Black American, maybe you should make sure that they're an American Black person first. Let them be first right of refusal before you open it up to just everybody that is Black.
I agree.
Because there are certain nuances that come with being a Black American than anywhere else in the world. Just like, you know, I've seen things, you know, casting wise, where they're looking for a Nigerian person, and then they're like, you know, African Americans, Nigerians, African descent. And I'm like, aren't you looking for a Nigerian person though? Like,
and you know something, but you know what? I will say, as a casting director here in Atlanta, some of those people, like different nationalities, are hard to come by for whatever reason.
Yeah, that is true. Especially if you're in a smaller market, I get that. But what I'm saying is, when you have big budgets and you're looking for a specific type, then you should go after that type. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to tell nobody to do with your job. You know, I agree. You know, but it's just, it's very interesting how decisions are made in the casting room, and a lot of the time it's really kind of backed by, oh, money wise, oh, we know who this is and we know who that is, and maybe we should just give it to people that we know. And that, I get that, you trust them, but that starts to make it the pool a little small. And I think especially at this time, we need to make the pool as wide as we possibly can.
Yeah, I agree. Now, another fun question. If you could play a role, wait, let me just rephrase this. What is your dream role? Like if someone called you and said, I have a role that I would like for you to play, what role is it you would just drop down and be like, thank you, Jesus, that's it. I've always wanted to play that role. What role would that be?
This question has been posed to me before, but it was kind of worded differently. It was, what's a role that you could play that no one would ever suspect you to play? And this goes into the dream role, is a psychopath, a murderous psychopath, because then that whole innocent schoolgirl and then chop you in the back kind of thing. Something along those lines, something that would surprise the audience, something that they would never suspect would be my dream role. Kind of like what Halle Berry did, not in Gothica, but there was another movie that she did, but with oh goodness. I can't remember the name of the movie right now, but somebody's probably screaming in the screen right now. This. But she kind of played a serial killer, and when I saw her do that, I was like, yes, I want to do that too. I want to play this. I want to do that. So playing a unsuspecting murderess would definitely be my dream role.
That's funny because a lot of people, most women say either of three things. They say the role that you just said, or an action film where they could just kick butt, or a superhero. One of the three.
Well, then I have to come up with the movie that makes me all three of those all in one character. I got to work on that. I
Whatever you want to do.
Exactly. I got to come up with a murderous superhero in an action film. Yep.
That's awesome. Now, in this industry, so you wear many hats to start with. And what is there anything else other than writer, producer, director that you want to tackle that you haven't tackled yet in the industry?
If there's something that comes across that I've never done before, I'm probably going to shoot for that. But so far, I'm touching on the bases that I want to touch. I think what my ultimate goal would be is to eventually, do what Tyler Perry has done, have that work, producing and distributing the type of stories that I really want to tell. I think that's where my goal really is, long term. But yeah, I think I'm hitting, or at least close to hitting the marks on where I want to go so far. I just have to keep looking at it.
Yeah. And you're doing a great job, man, because you staying relevant, with your show. You got people looking at you.
News never dies.
Never.
No.
Never, especially right now. And with the president that we have. So
that's a whole nother thing. If you've ever watched my show, there's a specific nickname that Tasha has given him. I'm not going to say it right now, but there's a specific nickname that is given to the president at this present time. And
that is a perfect way to tell people to go watch your show, so that they can see what's going on. It's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's also on IGTV. So yeah.
Okay. And where can people go and you said they can go on YouTube and it's on IGTV.
IGTV. I also have it on my website. If you go to amandarosario.com and then click on videos, there's actually a little page there and it just has all the episodes. Just click and then you can watch all of them. So yeah.
Oh, nice. And what are the links that people can go and follow you and contact you if they need to?
You can start with the website, amandarosario.com. I'm also on IG as at missamandarosario.com. That's MSAMANDAROSARIO. And then I'm also on Facebook at facebook.com/the Amanda Rosario. I think I have a Twitter, but I don't really be on that much. I'm just not even, I'm not even gonna lie.
I don't think, you know what, Twitter is a whole nother thing because I don't be on Twitter either, but I just tag everything to Twitter, and that's my
it's just like an automatic send out, like just to keep the page running.
Right.
Yeah. So you won't probably get a lot of engagement on Twitter, but definitely I'm mostly on IG pretty much almost all the time, unless I'm watching news. So or tending to the kids.
Now, if you had something for the people who listening, for your fans or whoever's your family, whoever, what is something positive that you can say to leave a bit of advice, should we say, to the people who are listening to the show right now?
I would say experience is the best teacher. So if you have an idea, just try it and see what happens.
Nice. Experience is the best teacher. That's a great line. Because people don't understand. You know, you have to try things to even know if you like it or not.
That's right. Sometimes you figure out what you don't like, even though you've been dreaming it all your life. You'll go, oh, I thought I wanted to be a chef, but I can't cook. So maybe I should try something else. Or if you're that driven at being a chef, then you'll understand what you need to work on, find where you need to hone your skills or how to develop a new skill. So,
you know, I'm gonna say this one thing because I don't even think you know how this is, but editing is the worst thing for me. Like, I've tried to sit down and try to dissect editing and try to see if it's something I even like. And it is such a tedious thing. It is so tedious. You have to look at every single thing. It just annoys me to even.
Yeah, shout out to all the editors out there. Whether you're editing small videos or an entire movie, you guys are the best. Y'all make the movies. No, seriously, editors really do make the movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Editor is the most important part of any movie because you can shoot all day long.
Yeah, you can shoot all day long, but if you don't know how to put it together.
Exactly.
Yeah, so definitely shout out to all the editors out there.
And for you being an editor as well.
I'm not on the level of the editors that I'm shouting out, just saying. But I'm not even close to that yet.
You edit your own stuff. Like you couldn't tell if you saw your stuff. You could not tell. Because that's the first thing that went through my mind. I'm like, who edited this stuff? I promise you, that is the first thing that went through my mind. Because as a person who's been in this business a long time, I'm always thinking of the editing because the editing you have to know lighting. You have to make sure the lighting is right. You have to make sure the sound is right. You have to make sure everything is leveled properly. Right. It is a lot that goes with editing. So you can sit here and downplay it all you want to, Miss Amanda Rosario. The editing is key to quality work, and that's something that keeps people intrigued by what you do, because if they can't see it and it don't look right, you rather them be talking more about the essence of it than the mistakes of it.
Exactly.
Because I've watched some stuff over and over again because it was awful. I just had to go back and see, could it really be that awful? I'm like, wait a minute. Let me rewind this. Was it really that bad? Yeah, it was that bad. I didn't even pay attention to what they were talking about.
Well, I just a quick I guess, piece of, or a suggestion for directors out there, or anybody that's aspiring to be a director. When you try out your first film or your first skit, do the directing and editing, because that will help you when you direct something else, because you need to understand the processes, not on a large scale. You don't have to go get the big suites for editing, not right now. If you're just starting out in directing, just get a small editing suite and just from start to finish shoot it, direct it, and then edit it. So when you actually go to an editor, then you know what it is, that you can talk their language. And so they'll be like, oh, I got you, because you'll understand what their process has to go through. Because when you understand the process, you'll be asking your editor to do a whole bunch of stuff that cannot happen. And don't do that to your editors. You need them. You need them. So that's just my only piece of advice for aspiring directors out there.
Because I hate being on set and somebody say, oh, that's all right, we'll get it in editing. You cannot do everything in editing. Do as much as you can while you're shooting.
Tell them that again, Wardell. No, you cannot fix it in post. Do it. I'd rather you have another take.
Right.
To say, oh, we can fix it in post. No, you cannot.
Man, that drives me bananas when I hear somebody
Especially
say that.
lighting. You cannot fix that in editing. No way, Jose. No way. No. If it's not lit, go back and try again.
Right. Because I don't care how much you try to raise the brightness of it or whatever. All you're going to do is wash it out. It's not going to match with the other scenes. You have to be aware of what you're shooting, what type of camera you're using, what type of lighting you're using. You have to have someone who's good with lighting, or you need to take a class to understand how lighting works.
Yes.
Because that is a very important part of filming, as well as the sound.
Yes. If you are a producer out there, I know budgets can be very tight, but please don't skimp on editors and lighting and sound.
Exactly. Those are very important, important components of doing a movie or film. Yeah. So, please, invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself, invest in your projects. Right. It's not easy to come up with funding. I get it, but it's better to do it right the first time. Exactly. If you can. And if this is not your, if this is your first time and you're trying to, put it in some high profile places, then make sure you do it right the first time. If you're just doing it for your friends as a concept piece, then fine, just go ham and do whatever you can. But
treat it like it's your baby. This is how people are gonna know you from. Your name is all over this. When you put this out, that's what they're going to know you from, because it's your first piece of work. Yep. And they're going to say, they're either going to say, yeah, work with him, he does great work, or they're going to be like,
you don't want to work with them. Exactly. So, what I appreciate about the industry, though, is if this is your first project, people are going to be a little understanding, and then you can try it again. Never give up on it. Like, if that is truly your passion, then you'll be able to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. So you'll just need to try it again and keep trying and doing it over and over till you got it right. These great filmmakers like Spike Lee, they put in the work because they just kept going and perfecting the way they did it. Spike Lee with oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's amazing the type of film techniques that came out of his stuff that other people didn't do. He did. And now he's got, he's just awesome. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, Miss Amanda Rosario, thank you for coming on the show today.
Can I give a couple of shout outs?
Yes, you can. Give out many shout
outs. So first and foremost, thank you, Wardell, for having me on the show. I really appreciate you, brother. Doubt. I really appreciate that. I want to give a shout out to my husband, Lee Glass, for always supporting me. I want to thank my mom for, just in her silent way supporting me and not really overly criticizing me in anything. To my sisters who also give me inspiration for my show, my brother, and then also to my mentor, Errol Sadler from Supremacy.
What? I know Errol.
Yeah, I interned with him. And so that's really what helped me to kind of push me to do my own thing, because he gave me a piece of advice of basically, nobody's going to give a F about your stuff, Amanda, but you should. So no, it was straight to the point, and I love that about Errol, because that piece of advice, it was the catalyst that I needed to go out and really try to pursue what it is that I wanted to do. And I really thank him for that. Also want to give a shout out to there's so many people I want to thank, and I'm playing. But I want to also thank the producer that helped me with my short film, Gwendolyn Jackson. Also want to thank the crew members and the cast that was on Unordinary Love with me. Thank you guys for coming out and showing out and giving me your time. I'm glad your checks cleared.
I had a great time doing that project with you, Amanda.
Oh, you gonna come in on the next one though, for real. I
wasn't on the show, y'all. I'm just messing with her. I wasn't on the show.
He's messing with me, but he knows we got stuff in the works.
Oh, we got stuff we got to do, for sure.
Yes, we do. There's also who else? Where was I? Oh, casting crew. I also want to thank LQ Casting for bringing in some great talent for that movie. I also want to who else I wanted to thank? Oh, there's so many people on that crew. So
LQ Casting does casting for independent films and stuff as well.
I'm sorry?
LQ Casting does casting for independent films and stuff as well.
She did as a favor for me.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, that's a big casting.
She did it as a favor for me, and I'm thankful for that. But I just, I'm not an island unto myself, and I understand that, you know, people have helped me on my journey and helped me to see my, you know, my vision become a reality. And I just wanted to thank everybody that helped me with that. So, yeah. So just thank you so much for just allowing me to even get on your platform this evening. And
hey, no problem, man. I had to put you on. You're doing some amazing stuff. I'm always proud of my friends who are doing it, because I think we don't give enough credit to our friends and stuff and say, hey, I love what you're doing. I want to show the world what you're doing.
That's
I think if I can do something to help my people get seen and other people to see what you're trying to do, then, you know, that's what I'm going to do. And I think that's the essence of a true friend. You know, they want to put you on. They want everybody to see what you're doing. So
I want everybody to eat, even if it ain't at my table. I want everybody to eat, even if it ain't my table. And that's really what we're building right now. We're building our own tables, and I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
No doubt. Thank you for being here. And this is Wardell Richardson, another fantastic show, bringing my good friend Amanda Rosario on. Thank you, Amanda. You are awesome. We love this interview. One of my favorite. And so thank you guys for tuning in. WCEGWOOD, the Hollywood of the South. Wardell Richardson signing out. Peace.